everyone, welcome back to Kirsty Colouring Sketch. So if you saw my latest video, you'll have seen me colour this page with Derwent Inktense. This page is from Fragile World by Kerby, and this little double page spread are the black-footed ferrets. So in part one of this, I did colour these little ferrets with my Derwent Inktense. I had a bit of a mare with this one, which I went over about 3 times because I put a wrong colour down on that one. But we got there in the end, and I decided while the paper was pilling slightly on these, I thought I'd play it safe and do a soft pastel background on here rather than a watercolour or water medium. So I'm going to go in and do that. I'm just going to get some protective sheets of paper for underneath here. Bear with me. So I'm just going to pop that there, and then it's not putting loads of chalk dust everywhere. And we'll put some on this side. So as you can see, these are all rocks in the background, and then we've got a tiny bit of leafage, tree branches. It looks like there might be a bit of sky up here. So I've got a few pan pastels out, and I've just got one of my cheap chalk pastels for the bit of sky up there. So I thought I would go in and do that first. So I'm going to do the bit of sky in the corner. So I'm just going to scrape off some of the pencil, some of the chalk dust onto a tissue at the side of me, and then I'm going to pick it up with one of my blending stumps or something along those lines. Let me see what I've got in my little tub, or I might just use my pan pastel tool actually. Yeah, I'll go in with my pan pastel tool while it's clean in here. So I'm going to start at the top and just use this blue to go in there. I'm not being too neat with any of this soft pastel background. I will be doing a tiny bit of pencil shading over the top, not much, but I will put something in there, possibly in some areas. A little bit in here. I love soft pastels for background. They blend flawlessly. They give such a nice soft appearance. My words don't want to come out today. I've had a busy morning. But yeah, they give such a soft appearance to the page. So I'm going to go in up here as well, because I believe that's a bit of sky there. Right into the spine of the book, and then up here we have a little bit so I hope in my last video you didn't mind the voiceover and the bit of a time lapse. I had a mare because my real-time video was so long it wouldn't export, unfortunately. I have storage issues on my phone, so I had to time lapse it, but there we go. So I think that's all the sky. I don't think we've got any other sky. I think that's it. So now I'm going to go in with some earthy tones on the rocks. So I've pulled a few different colours out, and I'm also, it might seem strange, but I'm also going to add a bit of this colour. This colour is, let me look underneath, burnt sienna tint in the pan pastel range. So I'm going to use that, and I'm also going to use a bit of this brown, which is raw umber, and then I've got a sort of, this one is really broken, excuse me, but I can fix them with rubbing alcohol. I've done it before, but this one ended up going on the floor again and smashing. But this one is ultramarine. No, it's not. It's got 2 stuck to it. I was going to say ultramarine blue. It's not. It's got another pan pastel underneath it. Let me just grab that off. So that's where my blue was. This is burnt sienna, and now it's all over me. And this is what I was joking to Debbie about. She was saying she did a pan pastel picture painting and she was covered in it, and I said, oh, you should see me after I've been doing one of my pet portraits. All over me it goes. But I do need to fix those pans. Right, so I've got a clean pan pastel tool now, And I am going to go in with the lightest shade first, so I'm going to base it in this colour, all the rocks. So I've got a bit on, and we'll start up here. Let me wedgie that over a bit. We'll start up here. Now with soft pastels, if you're going over anything like this with line art, it will dull down your line art. You can see here the black line art has faded into the background a little bit. It's not as black anymore, but I'm really not bothered about that whatsoever. If you wanted to, you could go over the top with pencils, but it will all come to light. I'm going to add more tones to this, some nice deep browns, but this is just a base. Being careful not to get any of this on my little ferrets. Oh, and I already have, but don't worry, got my kneadable eraser. If you've not seen these, they're really cheap on Amazon. I think this was the Faber-Castell one. It was about £2. You literally just do that and it'll come off. So if I do that anywhere, I will go in at the end and just make sure that, you know, there's nothing on. I've done it again. Can't help myself. We're still in frame here, aren't we? Let's get this bit of rock here. Just think it's so much quicker to go in with pan pastels. So much quicker. Has anybody else coloured this page in the Kerby book? I'd love to do a body colour in a Kerby book, actually, because I think everybody tackles these pages so differently. I think that they would turn out so different. So I'm going to pull the book up a bit so I can get down here. I cannot remember if I took a hay fever tablet this morning. My throat's itching off. The roof of my mouth is itching off. Let me just get that bit of pastel off my ferret. Get into that spine. That's all the rocks got, I think, more or less. So I'm going to go on to the right hand side of the page and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to base all the rocks in this colour. This is one right up here. I'm sure there's a fly buzzing about around me, a little tiny one. Might catch him on camera. Don't worry about if you go over any of these little bits of grass, because you know we're going to be going over that with pencil work, so that doesn't matter. Carefully try and get down here. I have just got a new fixative as well, so I'll be trialling that out later, see if it's any better than the one I used to get. You can see that once you put a base down, it already looks less intimidating, all that background. I know someone mentioned they've been looking at doing this page, but the rocks were putting them off. And I always say just fill it out, get it filled out with a base of something, whether it's a wash of watercolour, whether it's like this with the soft pastels. Just put a colour down first, because you can go in with details over the top. But it's far less intimidating when you take a chunk of the, you know, white space out like this. Off my little ferret. So I'm going to do the bottom bits there, and then I've done with this colour. Just hold him down. And I think that's pretty much what I want with that colour. I think I can safely move this colour to the edge. And I'm going to now bring in some of the brown shades. So now I'm going to bring in, I'm going to use the same brush because it doesn't matter about this colour, because I'm going in with a darker colour now. So now I'm going in with this one, which is the raw umber shade. And I'm just going to pick out some areas. So maybe the bits that are shaded a bit deeper, maybe just pick out some of them areas. Just very randomly. And I am going to be bringing in a hint of another colour as well, so. Right down here, I'm going to put it quite dark, sort of in the shadows down here, and a bit at the side of the little ferret. They always look so cute, but I bet they'd flipping give you a good bite. I mean, I don't know much about them, but they just look like they'd have a good set of teeth on them. Just randomly put some dark spots, and then I can blend it out. Just put it where I want to put it. Like that. And then gently blend it. A little bit up here. This looks like it would be darker under there. It looks like this sort of rock's coming over this little bit here. That's looking better already. I'm gonna go in down here. Again, randomly put the darker spots in those shaded areas, and then I'll go in and blend. Can hear my chair, it's very squeaky today. It's not me, I promise you. Go squeaky chair. I need to keep an eye on the time as well. Let me just check what time we're on. We're on 11:53 GMT. I had to pick my daughter up from school this morning. We don't know if she has to isolate yet. They're waiting on a test result to come back. They had a positive on a lateral flow test, and now they've got to, this person, whoever it may be, has got to go for a PCR test, and whatever the result of that determines if we have to isolate or not. Oh, but it's not looking good. So I might have her at home for 10 days homeschooling, which isn't great. I am not very academic at all. If you try and get me to help the kiddies with maths homework, oh, they'll do better than me, put it that way. They'll do better than me. Maths, I am shocking. Absolutely shocking. I've never understood it. Do you find that you're either one way or the other though? Really good at art or really good at maths? You're either really, you know, artistic or academic, or if you're lucky, possibly you're both. If you're very lucky. So that's pretty much where I want that. I'm just going to wipe some of the excess off onto a dry paper towel, and then I'm going to go and blend those areas. So I'm just going to try and blend it out a bit better where I went in with some of that colour. I may not even bother to go in with any pencil. We'll see at the end. We'll see what it looks like at the end. Sometimes you can get away with not doing, you know. Right, I'm going to dip back into my brown to go very dark in these edges. Little bits there. I'm going to leave that bit light on top. Try and get a bit into the spine of the book, which is really tricky. So I'll just take a step back and have a look, check if I've missed any bits. I think all this is going to be green where the leaves are. So I think that's that side done, and I'm going to move on to the right hand side now with this colour. So budge over, little ferrets. Let's do this side. Are we in frame? Oh, who's beeping? It's not for me. It's never for me. Right, so I'm going to start at the top again, randomly picking out the darker areas. Oh, that's my daughter slamming the door. Don't they just love to have a good door slammer? What's that? What's the crack with kids slamming doors? Right, I'm going to go in with it really dark down here. That's in the shadows. And again, down here. I do apologise if my hand's in the way while I'm down here. But I cannot get my hand in another position. And down here with the darker bits as well. If you do the darker bits first, I know I didn't, I started at the top, but if you go in on darker bits first, then you've used most of the pigment on your brush, and then you can use what's left on your brush to go in with the lighter, slightly lighter areas, because there'll be less pigment left on your brush, and then there's less waste. I don't always think these things through, but I think of them after I've already started. Like you do. Let's get into that spine a bit there. Bit here. And I'm just going to get this bit at the top, and then we'll move on to the little bit what's left at the bottom. There's not much left now. And I can try and blend it a bit nicer. Oh, I do love using these pastels. They're just super quick and easy. I love it. Can you imagine how long it would be taking me by now if I started this with pencil? All the rocks. Oh no, I just couldn't imagine it. Some people do, and hats off to them. Hats off to them, but I can't spend so long. I'd get really fed up. There we go. I'm gonna wipe the excess off on here again. And then we're just gonna blend it out a bit better. Can't hold my page down straight. Let's take a step back and have a look at that. See what we think. That's looking quite nice. It's looking quite nice. So I'm just going to use what's left on my brush to just go over this branch as well. And then I'm going to bring in a tiny amount of black on this branch as well. So my black pan pastel, I'm going to really just only tap it and just add a little bit in here and there and blend it in. Just to deepen it up a bit. There we go. Perhaps add more of the brown shade on the top. There we go. I'm gonna wipe my brush off. And then I think we'll get our pencils out, because if I try to do these little grassy areas with pan pastel, it's not gonna go too well. I've got a bad feeling about that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this out. I'm gonna spray the page. So I'm gonna spray it with the Winsor & Newton pastel fixative. So this one. So I'm gonna go and spray it, and then I'll come back for the pencil work. Hello, welcome back. So I've sprayed that. I think it's dry, but I'm just going to use a little bit of this paper just to rest my hand on, just in case, because you know, you never know. So it's always best to have that there. The greens I'm going to be using for the background, oh gosh, I'm so messy. I'm surrounded by pastel now. The greens I'm going to be using, I want them to be sort of these sort of greens. Can you see that they're really dark, sort of olive greens? What are they? What do they say? I've got a pine green, I've got a chromium green opaque, I've got an olive green, and I've got an earth green. They're them sorts of greens. You know, I didn't want to go for your lime greens and lettuce greens type of thing. I wanted it to be quite a, I don't know what the right word I'm looking for is, but yeah, you can see what I'm going for. So I'm going to base first all of them in this earth green 172. These are the Polychromos pencils. So I'm going to base them all with this first. I'll bring you in. And I'm going to start, I brought you in too far now. I'm going to start in this corner over here. So I probably don't need this, but I'm just going to put a really light layer of this down first. Now the way that I do leaves is very easy and very quick. Normally I only use two colours, one for basing the whole leaf or area in, and then one more just to deepen up at the bottoms. I'm going to remove this paper clip because it's getting in my way. That's a cute little paper clip that I got from Colouring Kid, Imogen over at Colouring Kid. She's got some gorgeous little stationery supplies on her Etsy store. You'll have to check it out. But yeah, that's all I'm doing. I'm just basting them. And it's really quick. So the colours I've picked out, I might not use all of the colours. I possibly will only pick out one more colour. So that's just the sort of colourist I am. Very, very easy, very quick. I don't like to make hard work of things. Slamming my doors again, them children. But you can see how nice these greens go with the background, with the whole, you know, effect of the background. Got some little leaves there, which I'm going to do in a slightly different green, I think. Does anybody else struggle right at the end of the pages? It's my pet peeve when you get to the end of the page, right on the edge. I'm gonna have to go in this direction, I think. So again, them ones, the little tiny little tufts of leaves, I'm going to do a slightly different colour. So I'm going to go on this one. And the little one I forgot at the top. Not leaving much room on my desk here. I need to clean it up a bit. I'm surrounded by supplies and not enough space. Keep telling myself I can't buy anything else. Can't buy any more supplies, can't buy any more pencils. I've nowhere to put it. And what do I end up doing? Right, I'm going to get in this corner up here. And then we'll do this side. I'm going to just pull you out a little bit. Now let's lean on this. So if you entered my giveaway competition as well, guys, I am still waiting on 2 winners to claim the prize. Oh, that's really hard getting in there. Yeah, I'm waiting on 2 winners to claim the prize from the giveaway that I did. I'm going to give them a couple more days. I know I said 48 hours, but I'm going to give them a couple more days. And if they've not got back to me in a couple of days, then I'll have to redo 2 of the giveaways, because I am awaiting, well, I'm waiting to post the other ones out, because I was going to go to the post office all at the same time with them all. Makes it easier to do one trip, especially when the post office is so inconsistent lately with their opening times. I thought making one trip would be a lot easier. I'm just going to do these ones at the bottom. This is a big one. Let me sharpen this pencil a little bit. That's my belly rumbling. Must be dinner time or lunchtime. Whatever you call it, whereabouts you are in the world. The thing that comes after breakfast. We call it dinner. If you watch my accent tag, you'd know that one. Breakfast, dinner and tea, we call it. Right, so now I'm going to go over the top of some of those. I feel like I've no room on my desk. Absolutely no room. I'm going to go over the top of these ones with the olive green yellowish, which is 173. Let me just try and make a bit more room, guys. Don't want to be struggling to get this on the camera. That's a bit better. So I'm going to start at the top, and I'm just going to start off with a hard pressure with this pencil at the base. and I'm just going to lift off so that you're leaving that lighter colour on the ends. And that's all I do with leaves. I do not mess around with them and fuss with them too much, because I get really impatient. I'm definitely not a patient colourist. I want to get immediate gratification from something that I'm doing. So that's that one. We'll go in and do this one. This one's a bit of a weird one, bit of a wavy, bit of leafage, foliage, whatever you call it. So very random in how I'm putting these dark spots down on this one, with it being a bit of a wavy one. This little bit up here. My eldest daughter's buzz didn't turn up for school this morning, so I ended up getting her in the car with me and her siblings, because I always take her younger siblings to school in the morning. So I had to bundle her in the car with me, take her siblings to the school. When I got to the school, one of the other mums, whose boy goes to her school, said, I can take her with me if you want and I'll drop them off. And she left her youngest two with me because they go to the same primary school. So we traded kids. She took the eldest ones to the high school and I took the youngest ones to the primary school. It's nice when you can do that and help people out, because it's a school bus. If it doesn't show up, there's no other bus that goes to the school. So yeah, it's just down to the parents then to get them to school, and if they can't get them to school, then it's, you know, they have to log on to the home learning and whatnot, which they absolutely hate, don't they? They hate it, let's face it. But apparently the buzz had broken down. I don't know why they found out, because it just didn't rock up. Yeah, an hour she was stood at the bus stop. I remember those days. It's not pleasant. At least it wasn't raining. She had that going for her. So I'm very loosely darkening up some of this grass. Very loosely. There's no rhyme or reason to it, especially not with the ones that are really intertwined. So that's that one. Now we need to do all this at the bottom. I really don't like the bits right at the bottom. I really despise colouring on the edge of the page. This is probably why I don't use pencils too often for backgrounds, because trying to get around them edges is just a nightmare. It's nothing worse. So much easier with watercolour or your soft pastels, believe me. Believe me. that's that bit done. There's a little bit there. I'm going to move on to this bit. And now the other side of the page. So we'll go and do these big ones that were based. This little one up here. I do get fed up of leaves, it has to be said. I'm lagging now. I'm lagging. I'm one of them people what gets really frustrated with leaves. I don't mind flowers. Flowers, I quite like colouring flowers. But leaves is just a bit of a... I can do so many, and then stuff like this that's more of a, you know, thin, like really thin, grassy sort of things. Oh, I can't bear it really. I don't mind actual big, you know, chunky leaves, fat leaves, but not grass. Grass is like this. Ooh. Which one did I base here? There's this one and this one that I've based down here. And then we can move on to using some different shades on the bit of grass that's left. Let me sharpen this pencil again. Does anyone know of any colour alongs this month? Any good colour alongs? I've seen a few. I think I've seen a year-long colour along in the Circle of Life. I can't remember who it's hosted by. I think I saw that on Instagram and I thought, oh, that's a good one. I like the year-long ones because it gives you longer to join in with them, obviously. And the Circle of Life is a really good book to do a year-long one in, I think. Really good one. Well, if you've got any colour alongs or if you know of any, drop them in the comment section below, because I do like to join in if I know of them and I've got time to do a page. I do like to join in with them. There we go. That's all the ones that were based that I've gone over. Let me pull you out a little bit now. We're still not in. There we go. It's such a big page to try and get on screen. So those are the first two colours that I used on them, was Earth Green 172 and Olive Green Yellowish 173. So now I'm going to go in with two different colours for the little tufts of grass. So first I'm going to base them with the Chromium Green Opaque 174. So a little base of that. This won't take me too long now. There's only a few little tufts of grass left. Thank the Lord. Cannot contain my excitement. Down here. One little one here. I hope I'm in frame right at the bottom of the page here. I'm such a pain for going off camera with my books. Need someone poking me. It's out of frame, out of frame. Shout at your screens or drop a comment down below if I've missed any bits. That's the best bit about doing live streams. You can put in the comment section, you've missed a bit. I'm just looking now thinking, oh, there's one there, there's one there. Missing them all over the shop. There'll definitely be some comments saying, like, what you've missed. There, I think that's all of them. So now I'm going to go in with Pine Green. This is 267. And just as I did with the first ones, I'm just going to deepen up some little tufts at the bottom. And you can see this is a different shade of green altogether, this one now. Got purple varnish on today. My youngest little daughter said it was horrible yesterday. She's so truthful. She doesn't mix her words up. She's only 5. If she doesn't like something, she'll tell you. She'll also tell you if something's nice as well. Right, what have we got next? Down at the bottom, I think, just here. And now onto this page. Up here. Did that bit, didn't I? Or did I? There we go, a little bit here and a little bit there. Right, let me take a step back and have a look and check if I've missed anywhere, because I'm the best at it. So let's just have a little look. Done them. There might be a little bit at the bottom here what we've missed. Right at the bottom where I don't like it. But I think that's it. I'm just going to go over the top of that one a little bit there. So this is the page finished. I thought I would lift my camera off my tripod so we can get it all on properly and fully. But there we have it, our little black-footed ferrets. Please do hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone.